This is the Mack Brass EU1150 compensating euphonium, and it's currently retailing for $1,195. While I've been reviewing this in 2020, please be aware that this horn itself was purchased in 2013. This is a budget price euphonium that is compensating, so it gives you all the pro features you would have from a more expensive horn. But does this match up to its price? We'll be finding out today looking at these following categories: tone quality, articulation, range, tuning, and my final thoughts on whether or not you should purchase this horn. First up is going to be tone quality. So when we're talking about tone quality on this horn, it's actually pretty good. Despite it just being $1,000, it has a pretty respectable tone. It's modeled after Yamaha euphonium, so it's not going to have a rich, bright sound like a British style euphonium, but at the same time, it's not going to be overly dark either. So this horn produces a really good medium. The horn shines the most in this mid-range, and it can really sing very well in that register. Now, where it loses some points, unfortunately, is going to be in its response. Despite owning this horn for years, I've never felt fully control of the horn. So typically when I'm starting anything that's delicate or something that's very soft and something that requires a lot of control in the horn, sometimes it feels like I'm fighting actually against the horn. And when it comes to situations where it has to be very, very delicate, very, very soft, very, very nuanced, it can be a struggle on this horn. The remedy I had for this horn is to pump a ton of air. And I had to actually put way more air into this horn than I would have to, say, a Besson or a Yamaha. I found the actual physical articulation to be fairly okay on the horn once you get a good control of how it feels. Here's an example of me playing something fast. So when it comes to the range, the sweet spot of this horn is definitely going to be its middle register. The horn can sing very well in this register, and it feels very, very free as you play through it. Once you get to the upper register, then I feel things get a little bit stuffy. Once you play with things concert G and above, then things get a little harder to speak out. And if you're playing something high like high C's or D's, then it gets a little scary of whether or not you're going to hit them accurately. From the immediate low register, anything below B flat, second line below, it's pretty good. Very nice, big, meaty sound. Once you start using the compensating notes, usually typically E flat and lower, gets a little bit more stuffy, a little bit harder to register. Pedal notes found to be really, really good, and I didn't have much problem getting out any pedals. Tuning I found to be overall pretty decent. I didn't find any glaring issues, except for sometimes in the upper register. I primarily had issues when playing with other euphonium players, and typically I had to adjust myself to match up with them. So I want to talk a little bit about the build quality, and I'm just going to be honest, it's not too good on this horn. I've had this horn since summer of 2013, and since then I've had some significant plating issues. In the areas where I primarily have my hand is actually where a lot of the plating actually came off. Now I will say I do have some level of acidity in my sweat, so that does play a factor into that. However, still stands that a lot of the plating was lost in those key areas. Despite the overall visual appeal of the horn, I've never had any mechanical issues. Uh, the 7 years that I've owned this horn is played as well as the first day that I've had, and I've never had to bring it to the shop or have had any real serious issues with performing and playing and utilizing the horn. So the question is, should you buy this horn? I say yes. If you're looking for euphonium on the budget with all the advanced features you would typically get on a pro horn that's around $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, then yes, definitely get this horn. I used this in college as a music major, so it helped me out a whole lot in that aspect. And if you're a college musician looking for a horn on the budget, or a very serious high school student that want their own horn, then yes, this is a very good pick. Also, I would suggest this for players like tuba players, trumpet players, or trombone players that's looking to double on euphonium. This is a very inexpensive way to get into euphonium playing without spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a second horn. I will leave ordering information in the description below. The company is owned by a guy named Tom McGrady, and he's actually a tuba player himself. He's very knowledgeable in the horns that he sells, and if you have any questions about even what type of horns that he sells on his website, he'll be glad to give you all the information you need. Really, the ordering process was pretty easy, and he's very, very helpful in actual customer service and getting you the horn. I will end out with just a few more playing examples of the horn so you can get an idea of how it sounds.